Real-time strategy games?
Gross.
Micro adjustments? More like micro penis required for entry, am I right? I really gotta start making these scripts better. If you are like me in that you like the idea of an RTS but don't actually like playing them, Thronefall might just be the game for you. This minimalist game where you get to ride around on a little haunts does lean more on the tower defense side of things, but thanks to a variety of strategies that you get to index into with your perks and decisions as you fend off the heathen hordes means that you can hunker down and let the towers do the work like Bloons, or run a giant warband around, stepping on your enemy's balls. there's balls enemies in the game. I swear to God, there's ball enemies in the game. That joke makes sense if you play the game. One of my favorite things about Thronefall, beyond the well thought out strategic depth of the game, is the ability you have to take that well thought out depth, ignore it entirely, and turn the game into this beautiful, chaotic symphony of bullshit. I'm sorry, what was that? I can't hear you over the sounds of victory. The idea behind Thronefall is simple. Make money, make buildings, protect castle, repeat. That formula gets twisted on its head significantly as the game goes on though, with each of the new maps being released having some serious gameplay deviations. There's a lot of variety in an already fairly content-dense game, and the devs have more or less said that they just want to keep adding to it, which makes my smooth brain very happy. I have horrible timing with videos, so while by the time this goes out, the sale that made the game $5 will be gone and the price increase will have hit the Steam store, $10 at full price is an extremely fair price, especially considering the content they have already added and will be adding in the future. Hopping on the Thronefall train now is an investment. If the art style doesn't do it for you, if the music doesn't hit right for you, if the maps aren't that thing for you, if the little itty bitty horse doesn't fill your heart with joy, first of all, fuck you, that horse is adorable. But at the very least, give the endless mode in this game a glance. Endless mode in Thronefall isn't like endless mode in other games where you just eventually reach the point of the game sticking the middle finger right up your nose. You scale as infinitely as the game's difficulty does here, to a degree. You eventually hit the point of the game being mighty difficult right from round 1, and economy actually becomes your worst enemy because you might have 30 perks stacked up from all the nights you've survived so far, but you got no money, you got no soldiers, and you got no bitches. And it's definitely not the game's fault, so you gotta figure that shit out. Endless mode remixes the enemies you see on the map, as well as the season that it is on each map. So there's this massive sense of new going into each new instance because you might be on the early maps facing off against endgame enemies in winter, and the problem solving that goes into that is so much fun. It's worth saying that I've played a lot of tower defense games, and while I am kind of joking about this being an anti-RTS RTS, at the core of Thronefall is a really well-constructed tower defense game. I played this tower defense a while ago called Dwarf, and the idea behind that one is that your character was also an active part of each wave's defense. That game really lacked the depth and micro-mechanics that you can have in Thronefall. You will lose if you decide just to not use your king because the king can disrupt enemy lines, pull aggro away from important targets, move your soldiers out of the way of damage, and if you use the right perks, you can turn them into a wrecking ball. The upgrades all feel meaningful and powerful, and while the game will absolutely try to overwhelm you, it never does so without at least providing you with the option to take tools to counteract it. For a game that is so stupidly cheap, Thronefall subverts the early access curse of being far too little content for far too high of a price tag. My typical test for that is asking myself the question, if this game never received another update, would I be happy with having purchased it? And the answer for Thronefall is a resounding yes. I've gifted this game to 4 people already now, and if you play this game and like it as much as I do, I pass the burden on to you. Give your friends cool games, because the best way to share a game with friends is to take the wall of having to buy it away completely. That way, all they've got to do is just install it and boot it up. As I get older and my free time becomes less abundant, I value more and more the ability to have a game I can boot up for 20 minutes or a couple hours, depending on the time I have to spend there. And Thronefall lets you do just that, because you can save runs in the middle of a run and then quit out completely. Why don't more games do this? It's such a nice feature. That's Thronefall though. It's a minimalist tower defense with some minor RTS elements that's just a whole bundle of fun. If you like the video, please do like the video, and commenting and subscribing also help a ton. By subscribing, you're also signing up for more coverage of dope little indie games just like this one. I do the searching so you don't have to. If you'd like, you can also follow me on Twitch. I regularly do warm-up games for every stream, and Thronefall is definitely on my warm-up game lineup now. All the names you currently see on screen are people with recurring subs to me on Twitch, because it allows me to justify buying silly games all the time to cover here and there. So thank you to every one of them. And most of all, thanks for watching.